Well, it's been 3 weeks since the last video, and mainly that's because the weather ain't been cooperating. I had an abscess tooth, and then I got a sinus infection, and then I just felt like crap. We're back to work, finally, and I've been kind of doing a little bit here and there, you know, trying to get this thing done. And so I will show you the progress of this thing. So I know this looks horrible, but it's kind of covered up, but I got the 2K on it, and it come a big rainstorm last night, so I'm gonna have to clean this thing out. Blew my stinking stuff off of there. But I'm in here working now. This had a lot of rust underneath it, under these little pads, and I thought, well, I might as well spray it with rust converter, because if I don't, it's just gonna be rusting through the top. So we're gonna go ahead and move this thing and get it out of here. Set it up out here. We'll set this up out here in the wind so it'll kind of dry off. Oh, man. See if we can't get something rigged up here where we fall off of this. So we got a Dura block, and I believe I got 180 on it. Nope, I got 320 on it. We'll see how 320 works. If that don't work good, we'll use 180. So I got a couple of low spots. Right there is a bit of low spot. Right there's another low spot. That needs some primer surfacer stuff. So let's get you turned around here where you can see this. Okay. So I'm going to try to get this out. Maybe. As you can tell, I'm getting down to my epoxy right there. So I'm thinking that's going to have probably just a spray of 2K. I think it'll sand out. Now this has got a little dip in it. So I'll go ahead and take it down the way I see the epoxy. So this has a dip still, but I can continue sanding, and the way I know that is I don't see my epoxy primer yet. So once I find my epoxy primer on this, then I will spray it again with 2K. And if it's still pretty deep, I'm going to put a little bit of glazing putty on it. But if it's not that deep, I can spray it again with 2K, sand it back down, and that will fill this hole up with 2K. You want to be sure and wear a mask when you're doing this. It's nasty. This one is a pretty dang deep one. So there's the primer. So now that one is ready to, and I don't know whether to fill that with epoxy, I don't know whether to fill that with glazing putty or if just 2K. I think glazing putty probably there. Now there was a little, yeah, you probably can't see this, but there's like a little hole there, and that's where a piece of trash got stuck on the paint as I was painting it. So there's nothing under that except epoxy. So pretty much I'm just going to glaze and putty that. I'm not even going to sit there and sand that. I'm just going to put some glaze and putty in that hole and kind of sand that off. This right here, I don't know what to do with that, but once I get this kind of down to where I need it, after I putty it and stuff, we'll see. All right, so I went ahead and put some glaze and putty on this, and a little bit here. So let's wait till it dries. And we got to sand it a little bit and recoat it with 2K. And what I used was this right here. It's Evercoat Evergold finishing putty. Alright, so now this is pretty rough right through here. I'm going to get some Bondo, I'll mix up some Bondo, and I'm going to have to put some Bondo on this. And once I get the Bondo on it, there it needs a little bit there. Once I get the Bondo on there, I got to let it dry, and then we'll have to sand it off also. First of all, I have to spray this thing off because it is disgusting. Take a little bit of our final wipe. And we're not going to wipe this whole door and waste our final wipe. We're just going to wipe where we're going to put the Bondo at. That's disgusting. Yeah, that feels horrible. That feels okay there. That felt like a, yeah, right there. It's got a little ding in it. That's definitely low. There. I think that feels okay there. Oh, there's a dent right there. Man, this car is, I mean, I always say this car has been a nightmare because it has. It has dents all in it, rust all in it. This is my first car to ever paint, and it is a doozy. I mean, good grief. You know, you always say, you know, you start out simple and easy. But what did I do? I started out with the most insane hard thing I could find. Mainly because that's all I had. But yeah, that's really bad. But we'll fix it. Scuff it up where I need it painted. That's a dip. This whole area, all the way down, is pretty much shafted through there. Ooh, ooh, that's right there. That's bad right there. You know, I think that'll come out with 2K. Should have done this before I wiped this off. This sucks. This really sucks. That was just great. Keep finding new spots. I can't get done because I keep finding new spots. Wow. Okay, that spot, that spot, that spot. All down through there. There's a spot there, there's a spot there. Wow, that took a lot of Bondo. A lot. Try to make the body line back. More bit. Oh yeah, there needs a lot more. Here's a low spot. Where's the other low spots? There. Yeah, let's go ahead and finish this out here. A little bit of Bondo left, but I don't know what to do with it. I guess I could just apply it here because this outside edge always seems like it's so much higher, and I'm out. So that ain't gonna work. No, never mind. We've got it all Bondoed. Now we gotta wait for this to dry and our putty door to dry. Alright, this is kind of tacky still, but the other one is not, so we're going to change it out. Alright. This body line is basically a pain in the butt. What I've done wrong is I put too much Bondo on here to be able to see where my body line was. So we're gonna test this out. Hopefully it'll work, come out in the wash, hopefully. All right, let's see what it looks like now. I hit it quite a bit with that sandpaper. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's making a line for sure. Well, I think I'm ready to put some 2K on it, or put some epoxy primer on this. This one has to be epoxy primered again because got a lot of metal showing. But I mean, the line is pretty decent. It's fairly straight. I don't know if you can see it, but it's fairly straight. Right here is kind of low, but you can't really see it until you get some paint on it. So I'm going to go ahead and epoxy it, and whatever else it needs, I'm just going to use that filler putty. We shall see. Like I say, I am no expert. This is actually the very first time that I've done this, so whatever it looks like is just what it's going to look like. Hopefully it looks fairly decent. Okay. All right, let's see. This one needs epoxy.
What are you staring at?
This one and this one needs 2K. So I don't know what to do first. I guess I need to do the epoxy first. But I've got one more thing that needs epoxy. So this thing, I sprayed her down with stuff earlier, and it's supposed to be rust converter. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand this rust converter off of here, and then I'm gonna tie it up just like that and spray it with epoxy primer as well. As you can see, we got a couple of little rust holes here that we're gonna have to putty. Dang it! Never ends with this thing. Alright, I just got this puttied here. Need a little bit of stuff here and there, so now we will wait for it to dry, sand it off, and hopefully it'll be ready for one more coat of epoxy primer on both sides, and then we'll move on to the 2K primer with it and that door. This is the third coat. Spot painting these Bondo spots. It helps to get rid of the bleed through of the Bondo. let it dry. I'll let it dry for about 5 or 10 minutes and then coat the whole thing one more time for the final coat. I think I'm about out of painting this, but it don't matter. I'm gonna try to just coat it for the final time, and then it's gonna get 2K on it and sand it to get the imperfections out of it. So let's put the final coat on it and be done. Paint thinner sucks nowadays. The EPA has totally jacked it around so bad that the paint thinner don't even work like it used to. So what I use is carburetor cleaner. I just spray it through this gun and it cleans it out amazing. And I'm done. Now, this gun needs cleaned more than that, but that amount of cleaning right there will keep it from gumming up until in the morning when I am not so wore out and I can clean this, and I've done it several times. It works fine. Well, we've been working on this thing. Got some more of it painted. This ain't nowhere near done, but so we got our middle part painted on our stripes. It's the silver. Now we already did this. Look at that. So that is done, and I hope you like the stripe design. So now we're going to have to close this hood down and get this marked. We've already got the hood all primered up, and we got this silver where our stripes are going to be. So we're going to close this down, mark our marks on it, and then we got to tape this whole hood off with the stripe tape, and then we'll show you from there. But look at this roof. I mean, that is how many little low spots there were. I think this thing was in a hailstorm or something crazy. We've been working on this. As you can see, all the little low spots on that is insane, but we're getting it. This was about as bad. It had little dings all in it, but as you can see, it looks pretty decent now. And we're still working on this thing. It's gotta get painted, but we're making progress.